So this was try number 2, and here I am at turn 191 as Sweden with the Heroes mode, Apocalypse mode, Secret Societies, and Dramatic Ages on. I tried to optimize the strategy for my last video. It didn't go so well because of a weird bug. Um, as you can see, Rush is actually in my game this time around, and I was able to get some relics off of his killing of my apostles. But I think most of my relics actually came from Japan because of a resolution against me for converting cities. So, actually, I think Russia's religion is gone at this point. Because if you don't fight back, I'll just convert your cities. So that's kind of how it goes there. Almost got my religion reinstated. So, early game, I started on this tile, and there were 2 silver resources and a fuck ton of camps. And so I knew right off the bat it was a pretty terrible start. I looked around and I was like, man, this is not the greatest. Of course, the horse tiles hadn't appeared, so it looked like a flatland plain start with a couple of woods and deer. So first glance you can chop those out and make something of it, but then I realized just how many camps there are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 within the ring of claimable tiles by my capital. 7 camp tiles. Yeah, so that told me that it was Camp Pantheon or bust. You can actually see some of these ones adjacent to the desert got fertilized by desert storms throughout the game. I've got camp tiles with 5 food and 7 production. Another great thing about the Camp Pantheon is that all of these tiles are also giving me gold, so I never hurt for gold this entire game, just from the amount of camps that I had near my start. Honestly, if it weren't for these camps, I would have died when France declared war on me, a surprise war, so. Because of the sheer production of these tiles, I was able to get out settlers early. I had Linkoping, Göteborg, and Norrköping settled early. I was able to get the Temple of Artemis. There's even more camps down here. Another deer tile, or 2. I'm actually working both of these deer tiles in Norrköping. A truffles resource, 2 of them, and an ivory resource. This is a god Cree start because of their bonuses to camps and domestic trade. But I don't think I could physically roll a start that is this camp heavy in the future. I've got 6 camp tiles all right here together, which is pretty nuts. As far as heroes go, I know I said on the redo of this playthrough, what I would be trying to do was collect more heroes. I actually got a hero in all 4 of my starting cities, even though they were like 30 turns, because the more you recruit, the more expensive it gets. So Göteborg and Linkoping took like 30 turns to get their heroes, but I said that it would probably accelerate my win condition. So I went for that in both of these cities. I even chopped some of it out in Göteborg. The heroes that I got, the first one I got was actually Maui. Is that true? Is that a true statement? I think so. I got Maui first. He was the first one I found, and so I 3-turned him in my capital. And then I got Beowulf, who died very quickly because he stood on a flood and then was immediately attacked by, I don't know, a crossbowman or a spearman or something. And so he immediately died, which is fine because you get the relic faster, as long as you're not under fear of getting run down by the AI. And then I got Arthur in my third city, and then Himiko in my fourth. So, no, it was Sun Wukong and Arthur, and then I got Himiko later in one of my later cities. So Sun Wukong was the one that allowed me to meet most of the AIs. I think I'm actually still missing an AI. I'm pretty sure there's still another AI out here in the Fog of War, somewhere close to Mali. Man, he's not doing great. AI Mali is pretty shit. The production penalty, they just don't know how to deal with it, which is a real shame, because Mali is very powerful if you know how to play him. I settled these 4 cities. I got a crazy industrial zone lattice. Ah, yeah, that's good right there. 2+9 industrial zones from this is aqueduct, dam. This one's getting boosted by the government plaza, and this one's getting boosted by adjacent districts. I guarantee that's what's going on here. So those are 2 very nice industrial zones, and I decided to give Linkoping an industrial zone here as well because of the strategic resource spawn here. I figured it would be a respectable one because it would be adjacent to 2 industrial districts. So it's actually getting strategic resource and mine adjacency. That's pretty nice. Um, so let's go over that bug that really kept me from winning the game, I think, a lot sooner. So I've got the themed Queen's Bibliothèque, which is nice. I was able to theme 3 city centers, Linkoping, Norrköping, and Stockholm. But I got 5 heroes. And so the reason for that is I had recruited Maui and I think Sun Wukong, and they both died, gave me relics that I put in my monument, and then I joined the Void Singers. And so I think when you join the Void Singers, it deletes your old monument and then reinstates the new one, and the Great Works didn't transfer, which was very unfortunate. Basically, that means that I'm going to have to play this playthrough again and get it right on the last try. So there's not really much else I can say about that. It's just um, I don't know why the game decided to do me like that, but it did. Um, I think I would have won a lot quicker. I did decide to play on a higher difficulty this playthrough. And actually, Japan's culture generation is kind of insane. If I had concentrated on him a little more, um, maybe stealing gold from him or something, I could have won faster as well. I actually was targeting Gilgamesh um, with trade routes and tourism pressure. I guess I just read the tooltip wrong. Yeah, France declared a late game war on me down here, and they tried to take Norrköping, and I think it was because it was my only city close to them. I don't know why they didn't try for Linkoping, but it was my only city that didn't have medieval walls that was close to them. And I guess they probably saw these wonders and thought that was pretty juicy as well as the strategics that are within my borders. Um, But I was able to fend it off with the great engineer that builds ancient and medieval walls, so I just popped him in here and built the walls. And then I actually repurchased, because Linkoping had already gotten Arthur in an earlier era. So I repurchased Arthur, turned my leftover warrior and heavy chariot into a questing knight, and immediately deleted his cavalry. So questing knights are actually very strong for a time push. They're only alive for 12 turns, but they were very strong for the period that I had them. Um, I used the questing knights to take Bordeaux and Marseille. Um, Bordeaux was already a free city, so I just had to flip it through loyalty. At that point, I had cultists, so I just moved in there and flipped it. Marseille didn't have walls, so I ripped it down with my questing knights. And then I went in and harassed Paris a little bit. Um, I'm still sending cultists in here, so getting relics like crazy. I think I actually have close to all of my relic slots filled. Um, but as you can see, I've only got Sun Wukong, Arthur, which it looks like you can put these relics. It doesn't look like it. I think they automatically go in there sometimes. Um, yeah, the theming and the moving of great works around in this new mode, where old god obelisks have 3 slots, is pretty wonky. I'm not really sure what is up there, but yeah. So I have the themed Queen's Bibliothèque giving me 52 tourism, 3 old god obelisks that are themed, that are all providing a large amount of culture and tourism. Sorry, faith and tourism. And then I have the Mont Saint Michel and the St. Basil's Cathedral. And then I have all of my open air museums. So let's just take a look at the tourism lens and see what really happened in this game. You can see that the city centers that came online early, this one and this one, really pulled the game for me. Um, as I said in my last video, that strategy I think is really strong. I just have to hone to massage out all of the tweaks and stuff with it. So open air museums are definitely not um, shabby this game. Yeah. I've got 1 tourist on all my open air museums, which is nice. I actually was able to get a snow city this game. So all of my open air museums are providing +10 instead of +8. So that's a small optimization. So I'm glad something worked out this game. I think if I'd have had those 2 relics from Maui and who was the other one I recruited early game? Sun Wukong. Um, I would have won a lot quicker. But for some reason, when you join the Void Singers, it deletes the great works that you had accumulated up to that point. Which it probably would have helped to have joined the Void Singers earlier, but I just didn't meet them, despite getting like 3 or 4 goody huts, you know. But that on that, it just is what it is there. So Maui, I recruited him twice. I put I put one of these wheats down, the incense, the cotton. I got a free luxury out of him. I think Maui is pretty strong. I'd like to try the strategy of using the Great Zimbabwe and trying to see if you can plant down some bonus resources outside of the borders of a newly settled Great Zimbabwe planned city, so that way you can get a little extra gold on your trade routes. Um, I think that would be an interesting strategy. You know, Maui could be worth up to 8 gold per turn if you can fit extra bonus resources into a Great Zimbabwe city. And you're probably likely already uh, putting the Great Zimbabwe somewhere that makes sense as it is, so you'll be making a ton of gold per turn from bonus resources. So Maui also placed one of the silver, the camp, and the plantation down here. I think in this copper mine too. Um, just so I could have something to work. This I was very proud of because this is a camp resource, so doubling my Pantheon would be insane. But a snowstorm ripped through here recently and took away that improvement. But that was an insane tile when it was working. Getting my seaside resorts down over here. Pretty nice. I had a plan to put a national park in here next to this coal mine. You know how I do. So, Russia's serious forward settled me with the city of Moscow. I think it was because the tiles around the city were already pretty insane. He actually came all the way through here, through Fez, and settled Moscow when I only had these 4 cities. And I was like, you're going to regret that later because I'm going to flip that city through loyalty, which I ended up doing quite easily. I kind of started at the top and then settled cities downward and around the coastline for good harbors. And then about midway through that, I settled these 2 cities because that was the time that nationalism came online. And I was trying to get my open air museums down. So, um, yeah, so the Camp Pantheon is nuts. That definitely is what kept me on the map this game. Um, I mean, these 2 tiles were 3 food, 3 production, 2 gold in the very early game. I got an early Pantheon because I actually settled this city and worked this tile from Mount Sinai to get extra faith to get to my Pantheon faster. So yeah, I got both of these tiles extremely early game. I was making 30 to 40 gold for the first 100 turns just from working these camp tiles. And using that, I was able to buy a builder so many turns in my Liang city, and then, improve more of these camp tiles, put down lumber mills, get farm triangles up and running. So, pretty insane. Himiko levied the city-state for me. That was when I was still at war with France. But in a culture game, you try to peace out people as quickly as possible. So I pieced them out whenever the first offer came around. So one more look at the relics. It's so weird because that's a relic. It says heroic relic. And it won't let me put it in there. Kind of crazy how that works. Yeah, the icon is certainly bugged there. Because that's not a heroic relic. This right here. And this got put into a whole heroic relic spot. Without it being a heroic relic. So, and this one as well. These are all Voigtzinger. That's really weird how that works. Heroic relics. Where's all my heroic relics at? I got 5 people this game. Maui and Beowulf. Those are the 2 that are missing. It's because of that bug. I would have 2 city centers that would be fully themed with this balling tourism pressure early game. Um, so yeah, I really think the strategy would be getting 4 to 6 cities and being able to theme 3 city centers before turn 100, and you would be able to win soon after that, um, for an incredibly quick culture victory. And I'm still working out the kinks in it, but I think I'm getting closer to figuring out how to do that. And once I figure out how to do it, I'll be sure to post it and let you guys know about it. But um, the theming is just so strong as Christina. I don't really know if this would work as well with other civilizations. Um, I know most of the incredibly fast culture victories that are on YouTube are actually playing with Sweden because of this theming ability. You know, you just get that extra little bit of tourism, and so it you win faster that way. So, well, this was try number 2, and I'll be trying number 3 here soon. So stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.